Children, let us continue the chapter Force and Pressure. You learnt about the force and the effect of forces. Now, let us start the unit pressure. So, what is pressure? The force acting on a per unit area of a surface is called pressure. The force acting on a per unit area of a surface is called pressure, and pressure is equals to force per area, force by area, that is P is equals to F by A. Let us come to some situations. To try to push the nail into wooden plank by its head. Is it possible? You can't do this. But it is possible only if you tried to push the nail by the pointed end. Try to cut vegetables or fruits with a blunt knife. Is it possible to cut? You can't cut the vegetable or fruit with a blunt knife. You can do it easily by sharp knife. In the expression P is equals to F by A, the area A is in the denominator. Therefore, here you can say that the area of pointed end of the nail is much smaller than that of its head. The same force therefore produces pressure sufficient to push the nail into wooden plank. So here the area is smaller, so the effect of force is more. So the pressure is more, then you can easily push the nail into wooden plank. If you use the sharp knife, then the force is applied on the smaller area, then you can cut the vegetable easily. But if you use the blunt knife, the force is exerted on the larger area and pressure will be less here, so you can't cut the vegetable easily. So here you can say that here as the area increases, the pressure decreases. So in the expression pressure is equals to force by area. In the expression pressure is equals to force by area, the effect of force, that is the pressure, is inversely proportional to the area. Now let us discuss about the pressure exerted by liquid and gas. Liquid and gas exert pressure on the walls of the container in which they kept. To clear it, you do an activity. Take a transparent glass tube or a plastic pipe. The length of the pipe or tube should be about 25 cm and its diameter should be 5 to 7 cm. Also take a piece of thin sheet of good quality rubber, say rubber balloon. Stretch the rubber sheet tightly over one end of the pipe. Hold the pipe at the middle, keeping it in a vertical position. So here it is shown in the figure. Ask one of your friends to pour some water in the pipe and verify, does the rubber sheet bulge out? Note also the height of the water column in the pipe. Pour some more water. Observe again the bulge in the rubber sheet and the height of the water column in the pipe. Repeat this process few more minutes. Can you see any relation between the amount of the bulge in the rubber sheet and the height of the water column in the pipe? And you can clear that as the height of the water in the tube increases, the pressure also increases here. The pressure exerted by water at the bottom of the container depends on the height of its column. As the height of the water increases, pressure also increases. Therefore, you can say that the pressure exerted by the liquid in the container depends upon the height of the liquid, and as the height of the liquid increases, pressure exerted by the liquid on the container also increases. See here, again you do an activity. Take a plastic bottle. You can take a discarded water or soft drink bottle. Fix a cylindrical glass tube a few centimeters long near its bottom. See here, it is shown in the figure. You can do so by slightly heating one end of the glass tube and then quickly inserting it near the bottom of the bottle. Make sure that the water does not leak from the joint. If there is any leakage, seal it with molten wax. Cover the mouth of the glass tube with a thin rubber sheet. Here it is also shown in the figure. Now fill the bottle up to half with water and the rubber sheet fixed to the glass tube bulge this time. Why this is? If you force some more water in the bottle and again here it bulges more. This is because liquid exerts pressure on the walls of the container. Note that the rubber sheet has been fixed on the side of the container and not at the bottom. And bulging of the rubber sheet in this case indicate that water exerts pressure on the sides of the container. So water exerts the pressure on the bottom. At the same time water exerts pressure on the sides of the container also. You do one more activity. Take an empty plastic bottle or a cylindrical container, or you can take a tin can or used plastic bottle. Drill 4 holes all around near the bottom of the bottle as shown in the figure. Make sure that the holes are at the same height from the bottom. Now fill the bottle with water and observe, and you know the streams of water coming out of the holes fall at the same distance from the bottle. Here the different streams of water coming out of the holes fall at the same distance from the bottle. So what you can observe here, the liquid exerts pressure on the walls of the container. Pressure exerts, the liquid exerts pressure on the walls of the container. Here in the first activity, the pressure is exerted on the bottom, and in the second activity the pressure is exerted on the side of the bottle, and in the third activity here equal amount of pressure exerted on all the direction of the bottle, here on all the part of the bottle. So here you can conclude that water or liquid exert pressure on the walls of the container, that is on the bottom and also on the all the sides of the bottle. Here pressure exerted on the bottom of the container by the water or any liquid depends upon the height of the liquid. As the height of the liquid increases, pressure on the bottom also increases. That is, pressure exerted by water at the bottom of the container depends on the height of the column here. As the height of the liquid increases, pressure exerted by the water on the bottom also increases. You might have seen fountains of water coming out of the leaking joints or holes in pipes supplying water. And also you can clear that it is due to the pressure exerted by water on the walls of the pipes. Here you cleared about the pressure exerted by the liquids, and you know that liquid exert pressure on the walls of the container. Now let us discuss about the pressure exerted by the gas. Do gases also exert pressure? When you inflate a balloon, you have to close its mouth. Why? If you open the mouth of an inflated balloon, what happens? By observing all this, you can say that when you inflate a balloon, air exerts pressure on the inner walls of the balloon. If the balloon is having hole, is it possible to inflate it? You can't inflate it. So here you can clear that air exerts pressure on the inner walls of the balloon when you inflate it. What happens to the air in the bicycle tube when it has a puncture? You know that air in the bicycle tube exerts pressure on its inner wall. If it is punctured, you know that you can't use the tube for the movement of the cycle. You can't move the cycle with the punctured tube. So you have to change it. In this way, it is clear that liquid and gas can also exert pressure on inner walls of the container in which they are kept. Liquid and gas can exert pressure on inner walls of the container in which they are kept. When air is filled, a rubber balloon gets inflated from all sides. This happens due to air or gas exert pressure over inner walls of the balloon. Water starts leaking if there is a pore in the bottle. This is due to the pressure exerted by the water over the walls of the bottle. In this way, it is clear that the force acting on a per unit area of a surface is called pressure, and pressure is equals to force per area, force by area, that is P is equals to F by A.